Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Zoom meeting with Florida Education Association members. My name is Ryan Goodsight, founder and president of the Student Loan Help Group. Thank you to Andrew Spar for connecting us all on the Zoom call today. And thank all of you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and hear what we do to help all of you. We've been helping teachers like yourself for almost 10 years and absolutely love hearing how much stress and worry that we're able to take off their shoulders. You all have one of the most challenging and most noble jobs out there as it is, leading and educating our youth to become more respectable, productive members of society is not a task for everyone, and we know that. For full disclosure, this presentation will be recorded for future use, and it's going to be provided to anyone unable to make it today. We won't save the Q&A portion of this meeting, just the presentation from the TSLHG team. Before we get started, I'd like to give you a brief background on our company. We've been in business for almost a decade, assisting educators and others with their student loans. We know that it's imperative that you're comfortable working with us. So I want to share just a few of our credentials with you. I hold an approved vendor badge with Florida Public Schools, and each of our counselors is licensed with the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Both of those required fingerprinting and background checks. Later, we will provide you with links to our A+ ratings and reviews, and you can see what others are saying about us. Before we get into the details of the federal programs and answer your questions, take a look at this 1.5-minute video of what some of your colleagues are saying about us.
I would like to thank the Student Loan Help Group for all of their hard work and their representation of me as their client for numerous years gone past. I am so honored and grateful.
Thank you to the Student Loan Help Group for calling me and letting me know that my loan has been completely forgiven.
They are fantastic. My debt now is zero.
Thank you, Student Loan Processing Help Group, for the tremendous work that you have done in helping me to secure my student loan forgiveness.
They are friendly, they are very knowledgeable, and they are always there for me.
I just got the most fantastic news from the Student Loan Processing Department that my student loan has been taken care of. It's all zero.
This week, I received a letter from the Department of Education informing me that all of my loans have been forgiven.
I want to thank the Student Loan Help Group for helping me get almost $60,000 in student loans forgiven.
If you are considering using a company to help you with your student loan forgiveness, they've helped me with that as well.
We hope you will love our services as much as they do. Our team's goal and mission are to save you as much money as possible and help move your file forward in an expeditious manner. We handle each file as if we were dealing with our own student loans. Our team specifically will closely monitor your file during any loan transitions necessary to keep your loans on the right track and mitigate any issues that may arise as close to real time as possible. This is a very valuable part of our service. We also assist in all forms of communication with your servicer or collection agency, such as faxes, follow-ups, updates, phone calls. Our team stays in close contact with you throughout this process by sending document requests, approvals, and courtesy follow-ups throughout the year. We do this through emails, phone calls, and text messages to ensure you have an open line of communication with us. Our services also include preparing mortgage and credit reference letters, assisting in Teach Grant recertification with refund requests and forbearance and deferment requests as well. With the addition of the PSLF Limited Waiver, we're helping many of our clients receive forgiveness much sooner than they anticipated. No two files are the same, and there are small nuances and details that may change, even if you are working towards the same program as a friend or colleague. Some of those things could be loan types, cutoff dates, details that really make a difference toward your eligibility. You will want to make sure you get your personalized consultation reserved so you can find out exactly where you're at and what you need to do and how to get on the right track if you're not already. Even if you decide to do this work on your own with the assistance of a self-service application, your complimentary phone consultation with one of my expert counselors will arm you with the knowledge and facts you need to be successful. So everyone here is aware what to expect during our presentation today. We have a few of our team members here with us today, and one of them will explain the eligibility requirements and the details of federal loan forgiveness programs and information about the new limited waiver, followed by another team member explaining some of the details and heavy lifting they will perform on your file. We encourage you, just please write down your questions so that we can answer them during the Q&A time at the end, or even better, during your personalized complimentary consultation. A link was provided to your email when you reserved your spot. And if you're joining now, you can also find the link in the chat box. Before we get into the details of the programs, I'm going to hand it over to Fedra, who's briefly going to go over what to expect so you're prepared for your personalized consultation. Fedra?
Thank you, Ryan. Good afternoon. My name is Fedra Ekris, and I'm an enrollment counselor. During your phone consultation, we'll look at your loans and go over exactly where you're at, what you're eligible for, and what you need to do. Appointments typically take 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Things to have handy are email access, the annual gross income for the borrower and spouse if filing taxes jointly, your federal student aid login information, which is the studentaid.gov, and your current loan servicer login information, so we can look at the details and history of your loans. Also have a pen and paper to take notes on all the excellent information we will give you. We have bilingual enrollment counselors and processors to assist those who are more comfortable conversing in Spanish. I'm now going to take this over to Patty, who's going to go over public service loan forgiveness. Patty?
Thanks, Fedra. Hi, everyone. I'm Patty Ogilvie, and I'm a senior enrollment counselor. Today, I'm going to go over public service loan forgiveness, also known as PSLF, and the most recent temporary changes from the DOE. You're all eligible for this program because you're full-time public service employees. PSLF is available to anyone who's considered a full-time employee working for a public service employer. This is any state, county, local, federal government, or a 501c3 nonprofit organization, no matter what your position is with your public service employer. PSLF requires that you make 120 income-driven payments on your direct loans while being employed full-time 30+ hours a week in a public service position. An income-driven payment is always based on your income and your household size, and your payment is determined by your servicer, and it's based on this information. Every year, your income, your household size, and your employment must be recertified in order to be considered making a qualifying payment. And then after you've made those 120 payments, the remaining balance is going to be forgiven by the Department of Education. So that's principal, interest, and that's tax-free. And on October 6th, the Department of Education implemented a temporary limited waiver, which is going to allow all past payments that you guys have made from October 1st to 2007 to present while working for a public service employer. They're going to count those toward the 120 needed for PSLF. And during your reserved phone consultation, we'll help determine if you're going to benefit from this temporary limited waiver. And to date, our clients have received over $20 million in early forgiveness, and that number is climbing just since the limited waiver was put in place on October 6th. So just to give you an idea how difficult the DOE makes the process of public service loan forgiveness, the last information that they reported is for the quarter ending September 2021. And it shows that for 2021, they had 442,277 new PSLF applications submitted, and only 9,038 were approved. That's a denial rate of 98%. And we're talking intelligent people like yourselves, teachers, professors, doctors, lawyers, and other professional people trying to do it on their own and not being able to get it done. Our team will ensure that you're not part of that 98% because they audit everything before anything's ever submitted on your behalf. And for teachers planning on retiring soon, no worries. There's another great federal program out there. It's called Income-Driven Repayment Forgiveness, and this is also known as IDRF. And the great news is that any payments that you made while working towards PSLF, They're also going to be considered qualifying for IDRF. So this way you'll be able to transition into this program without losing any of those qualifying payments that you've already made. And then this way, you're definitely not going to have to start from payment number 1. And this program is also great for family and friends who may not work for a public service employer. So what I'm going to do now is hand it over to Evan, and he's going to cover some of the common issues that arise with PSLF and all the work that we're going to do on your behalf. Evan, you want to explain more?
Thank you, Patty, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Evan Chatsidakis, and I'm a senior processor here with TSLHG. To expand on Patty's points, some common reasons for the 98% denial rate that she just went over are loan date origination, loan type, being on the wrong repayment plan, not working a contracted full-time position, and simply just not filling out the employment certification form correctly. Our number one goal is always to help you, never to hurt you in any way. Keep in mind that servicers have a conflict of interest because they make the compounded annual interest off of your loan. So the longer it is stretched out, the more money they put into their pocket at the end of the day. Our team audits all employment certifications before and after submitting them to the properly authorized official at your place of employment to get their approval and signature. We check and double check FEIN numbers and submit them to the servicer after verifying. Once employment certifications are approved, we audit the qualifying payment counts to ensure none were missed and all eligible payments are included. We can accomplish this highly detailed and time-sensitive work because we have a proprietary cloud-based workflow and dispatch queue system that enables us to know where you are in the process based on your plan of action, when to request documents, and when to follow up. We do income reviews to forecast your estimated payment amount and compare it to your IDR approval to make sure that your payment is accurate every time. Then we do all of the income-driven repayment submissions and a thorough audit of detailed income documents and authorization forms. This ensures that you always get the lowest monthly payment every year based on your income and household size until you finally receive your forgiveness. Sometimes servicers will approve you for the wrong income-driven plan, and you won't even know that your loans were on the wrong plan until you've made your 120 payments, or at least you thought you made your 120 payments. Then when you go to apply for forgiveness with the Department of Education, your forgiveness could be denied. Your servicer may also place you on an income-driven plan that doesn't give you the lowest possible payment. Another situation that we commonly see is that your repayment plan will be approved for a higher amount than it should have been because the correct proof of income was not used for the calculation. We can detect and correct these servicer errors for you before it's too late. We audit deductions and review payment periods, such as if you're paid over 10 or 12 months, so that we can assist in lowering your monthly payment to ensure that your payments are always as low as possible and accurately recalculated based on any changes to your income throughout the life of your loan. I will now pass it over to Sam, and she will elaborate on the Teacher Loan Forgiveness Program. Sam?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Sam Pettengill, one of the Senior Enrollment Counselors here, and I'll be speaking with you today about a program called Teacher Loan Forgiveness, also known as TLF. TLF is a program that some of you may have already heard about. Many teachers tell us early in their consultation, I work for a Title I school, because they know that that's one path to loan forgiveness. But the program does have several requirements that are important to keep in mind. First off, TLF is ideal for classroom teachers who don't have a large amount of debt. While this program offers a fixed amount of forgiveness and it's often lower than public service loan forgiveness, you can receive forgiveness faster and you may already be eligible. TLF is open to teachers who provide direct classroom teaching or classroom type teaching and who have taught full-time in a Title I school or schools for 5 complete consecutive academic years. If you're using employment in multiple Title I schools to reach the 5-year requirement, keep in mind that any gap between contracts will reset the 5-year period. There are a few other important prerequisites to be aware of too. First, you must not have had any outstanding student loans on October 1st, 1998. You also must have your full state teaching certification and at least a bachelor's degree during all 5 years of service. For the majority of highly qualified teachers, TLF offers $5,000 in forgiveness. However, math and science teachers in middle and high schools and ESE certified teachers who are listed as ESE teachers with their district and teach in those subjects or perform those duties are eligible for up to $17,500 in forgiveness. Now, if done correctly, TLF takes 3 to 5 months to be approved, and it's important to note that TLF forgiveness can only be received once. Now, what if you're teaching in a Title I school, but you haven't received 5 years of service yet? Now, if your balance is lower than the amount that you would have forgiven by TLF, but you haven't taught a full 5 years yet, we can request TLF forbearance so that no monthly payments are necessary while you finish out your service. Now I'm going to turn it over to Andrew, who will cover some of the common issues that borrowers encounter with TLF.